Hello! Happy New Year! I'm Kayla. This is Flosstube number 23, which is my year-end WIP parade, 2022 year-end WIP parade. I do have one finish to share with you and a little bit of knitting. I'll do that at the end though, because I know you're really mostly here for cross stitch. So let's just get started, shall we? Today is December 31st, 2022, which is also my little brother's birthday. Happy birthday, Ben. Not that you're watching. And yeah, let's just do this. I almost didn't fit this in today, but we're doing it. Saturday, we put inside Christmas decorations away today. And yeah, feeling good. Okay, so my only finish before we get into all my WIPs is Holly from Not Forgotten Farm, which if you saw my last Flosstube is probably not a very big surprise. Oh, also, if you celebrate, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I forgot that I haven't talked to you since before that. We had a great Christmas, besides we all ended up with a stomach virus afterwards, but we're on the mend. I hope we're done with sickness after, this fall and winter. Anyway, things are good though. We're good. Okay. So I hope you had a great Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate. Anyway, Not Forgotten Farm, Holly. I finished her 2 days after Christmas. Christmas is very busy for me, so I really didn't stitch for a couple of days. But last time I showed this, it was just the skirt I had left to fill in, which was a lot of ecru stitches, but I did it. She's done, and I love her so much. I found a frame on pictureframes.com that I really like, so I'm considering that, but I might do a different finish, which will be, cheaper and all of that. So we'll see. I haven't quite decided yet, and as you can see, I haven't ironed her yet, but she stitched 1/2 on 36 count smoky blue Zweigart linen with the called for DMC. So that's my finish. Yay! It felt really good to finish something that wasn't a tiny thing. I mean, she's not that big, like 6x8 frame is what she would need, but it feels like it's been some time since I've had a good finish. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it felt good. So, all right, I want to share with you all of my WIPs now. So it's not going to take, we're not going to take long to get into it. I did a quick count, and I believe I'm correct when I say I have 15 WIPs, which is not that bad. It's decent, not bad. I'd like to get some of these finished for sure next year. I'm probably almost certainly going to start new stuff before, I finish all of these. I'm 100% going to start new stuff before I get to finish all of these, but there are some that I would like to actually finish. So we'll see how that goes. Sorry, I was like, what am I seeing? That's the chair behind me and then the cat tower. Okay, so this is in no particular order. I know some people do from oldest to newest or newest to oldest or what they want to finish and yeah, this is in no particular order. This is just the pile that's in front of me. So let's get started. My first WIP, which actually is pretty recent start, is Strutting Tom by Lindy Stitches. This is on a scrap of 36 count light mocha, I believe, with all of the called for colors. And that's as far as I got. I definitely thought I was going to finish him before Thanksgiving, but life got in the way. That's all right. So I definitely hope to get this done for next Thanksgiving. My next WIP is a half finished, okay, it's a two pattern thing. It's also another Lindy Stitches, my last current WIP of Lindy Stitches, Ex-Girlfriend. And this was started during my mania this past year, when I was doing like seasonal things, one every week. And I had started with this one, When This You See, Remember Me, which I did get finished. And honestly, this is also 36 count light mocha with all the called for, some fancy flosses, some DMC. So she's a finish. Once I finished her, I started the Apart But in My Heart, and I didn't get super far on that. So, you know, if you've seen my videos before when I talked about this, I said I would like to do like a double-sided pillow finish, so one on each side, to save space for one thing, and number two, I just thought it would be kind of cool with like maybe a ruched ribbon or something on like the trim, but I'm not, you know, I'm not positive. So that's as far as I got there. This is another one I would like to get finished. I mean, they're little, so it's little, so I think I could do it. Ex-Girlfriend by Lindy Stitches. I mean, do you want me to show you my floss? The thing is I don't have it on pretty rings. It's mostly bobbinated and sometimes just loose, so it doesn't look very nice. I think we'll skip it. Okay, so where am I? That was number 2. Another WIP that I have, which was started originally in my head to be a Sunday stitch, and then my Sundays were pretty busy and I didn't continue it as a Sunday stitch. Not that I won't ever. Is Prayer of St. Francis by Lizzie Kate. I'm doing this, it looks like 2/2, so it must be 32 count, and it's Zweigart Winter Moon. And it's all like my own colors. It's not the called for. And that's as far as I got. So not very far. It's mostly words, as you could see from the pattern picture. So, you know, it doesn't actually take that much time. I just actually have to work on it. That's like the secret. You have to work on it. It's just like a secret to me. Not to you. I'm sure you already have that. You've probably got that all together, you know. Anyway, that's how far I got. I have 1 1/3 lines done, and out of what, 9 lines, plus a lot of little motifs in there. So, you know, if I could get this finished too, that'd be cool. You'll hear me say that a lot. So, 3rd. Okay, my 4th WIP, which was also started during Mania this past year, is Summer Hill by Plum Street Samplers. And I'm almost certain this is another scrap of light mocha. At one point, I think I had a fat half of light mocha 36 count, because it's just a good neutral. You can use it for so much. So, yeah, and I still have a decent amount left. So for smalls and stuff, it's great to just grab a chunk, you know. And let's see, it looks like I've got the DMC conversion. So, or no, it is all DMC actually that's called for, just kidding. And I'm using all of the called for DMC. But this is only as far as I got. Oh, I'm almost losing the needle, stand by. Okay. So just the very bottom of like the hill where the flowers start. Not very much. Yeah, so that's a long ways to go. I wanna see. So it's 94 inches, or 94 inches, goodness gracious. 94 stitches wide and 126 stitches high. So, pretty decent size. It'll be not quite as big as Holly, but close. Let's take a little sidetrack for a second. Oh yeah. It'll be just about as big as Holly, because Holly is 106 stitches wide and 132 high. So it'll be a little tiny bit smaller than Holly. Yeah. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was my 4th WIP. My 5th WIP is, I don't have a pattern picture to show you, But if you hold on one second, I can maybe show you the original. I have her in here. I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, sorry about that. I had her, this is a reproduction, and I have the sampler in a drawer so she doesn't get sun damaged and stuff. So this is the antique that I'm reproducing on a Medina. And I really love her. There's a lot of missing stitches. It's interesting because there was definitely probably like, I want to say there's some wool in here, but then the rest of it doesn't look like wool. Like the stitches that are in better shape, I don't think was wool, but a lot of the pink ones that look like that. So anyway, that's on a Medina, and that's one that I've charted, but I have not finished stitching at all. I honestly forgot about it for a while because I've been so like all over the place. So that's only as far as I've gotten on my stitching. This is 32 count Dirty by Zweigart. And I mean, it's all my own DMC colors. It's no fancy flosses or anything. So eventually, hopefully, once I get that stitched and get my act together, maybe I'll have that available for other people to stitch if they're inclined. But you know, I do love this crazy dog, and I love these birds. This bird's my favorite though. Okay, which is actually missing a beak. Poor thing. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that was my 5th WIP. We're moving along. It's not going to take us too long, I don't think. My 6th WIP is Worthy Brown by Carriage House Samplings. It almost felt I caught it. Which you can get at least at kittenstitcher.com, and I'm sure other places. It is an older one, but still around. And I'm using the called for DMC 36 count vintage country mocha linen. So 1/2. And that's as far as I've gotten so far. Number 7. Okay, number 8, and this is actually my oldest WIP, is Froth Bubble by Long Dog Samplers. This is 32 count white Zweigart with the called for DMC. Let me just try and get this situated here. So it's 2/2 because it's 32 count. I really think 36 count is my favorite now, but it's okay. I'm sorry that nothing's ironed. I'm lucky I'm having time to do this. So yeah, that's as far as I am. I still, as you can see, have a long way to go, but I would really love to get this finished this year. I feel like it's kind of lofty, but if I really focus, I can do it. How's that? I'm losing count already. It's fine. I said I have 15 total, so. Anyway, my next one, I hope I'm not going too fast. Sorry if I am. There are some really good long ones, WIP parades to watch, but anyway. A Dutch Sampler by Kathy Barrick. I am using the called for fabric, which is 36, or Havana by Weeks Dye Works. I don't know if her count was the same, but I'm doing 36 count. I'm doing 1/2, and I am using the DMC conversion from the chart with the exception of the Silken Colors Willow Green that I am using, because that is this, like the variegated green color. And I really did not want to lose out on that. So everything else is DMC except for that. I haven't worked on this in quite a while. but I really, really, really would like to some more. It's gonna be beautiful when it's done. Sorry about my thread in the middle there. I'm just trying to give you a closer shot of it, but I can't see what you're seeing. Okay, hopefully that was good. Yeah, here's my, see, like my threads are just, it's not a pretty presentation. Okay. Next is my birthday start, which was September 21st. It's a very tiny start. Not my smallest WIP, but it's close. Come to the Garden by Teresa Kogut. I love this pattern so much. I love her designs. Angel's my favorite. And I'm using all of the called for floss, which is some DMC, some fancy overdyes on 36 count vintage country mocha, one of my favorite fabrics. So not very much done, but there you go. My problem was I was trying to jam in a bunch of starts, for me, a bunch of starts during that time. Because I had Halloween, I wanted to start Strutting Tom, and yeah, I was just trying to jam in a bunch of stuff, but I will get back to her eventually. I think this next one is my saddest WIP because it's been barely touched at all. Yep. And I'm trying to figure out which way is up, if I'm being honest. I'm not sure. It's either this way or this way. I think it might be this way. Whew. So that's not very much, right? This eventually someday will be Lily of the Woods by Mirabilia. And I think when she's finished, she's going to be so pretty. But I have not been very motivated. I started her, I want to say April or March, when I had lost my Stitching Mojo hardcore. Was trying to find my Stitchy Mojo, and I thought, oh, maybe if I do a fun new start, it'll bring it back, and it really didn't. But she's a start now, and you know, eventually I'll get back to it. But I have all the called for DMC, and I mean, this was like a Christmas gift last year, I think, the whole kitted up situation. And this fabric though is 32 count Swamp by Picture This Plus. Gotta say, if I had known what I know now, I would have gone with a 28 count, since Picture This Plus is so very tight. I'm worried about the beading, you know, but it'll be all right, I'm sure. We'll make it work. So, you know, someday it'll be really beautiful. Like, no pressure though, right? Okay. My next one was it my most recent start? Possibly. Halloween at Hawkron Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. I started this past October. And worked on it through Halloween before I was ready to start Strutting Tom. That's right. So I started up here on this block, and I did not finish that block, but I got close. All of the DMC is what I'm using on 36 count Vintage Country Mocha by Zweigart. Let me move this so at least it's underneath the picture. Sorry, I should have prepared a little bit better. Okay, I don't want to lose it, but so here's where I got to. I really want to just finish this block. You know, this is definitely a long-term project. I'm in no rush. I mean, I would love to have the finished product, but I'm not in a rush either. It's a lot of fun to stitch on this. So far, I've really loved it, and each block is just like, you know, a new exciting thing to start. So yeah, really exciting. I've been having some trouble deciding which block I'm going to do next once I finish that one, because I'm going to either do this one or this one. This one is one of my favorites, but I almost think I should go over here, which I like that block too, but so fun. All right, that pile that's here that I've been putting stuff on, I'm a little afraid it's getting a little tippy, so maybe I can do this one, but then I'll have to create a new pile elsewhere. Okay, only a few left. My next WIP is another Carriage House Samplings. Can you tell I love Carriage House Samplings and Kathy Barrick? I love a lot of designers, but I keep very much gravitate towards their work. Okay, this is Quaker Quilts. This was another Christmas gift, I want to say last year. I was gifted the pattern and the NPI silk thread that was called for. So I felt very bougie. It's not really that bougie, but like, I feel fancy, you know? And I don't have a ton done. And I'm almost certain this is 36 count light mocha. So it's 1/2. Because that's how I roll. Just moving the floss. It's like I always re-thread a needle for myself to try and, you know, be kind to my future self. But then if I don't get to it, then it's just in my way. So that's all I have done. It's a little sad start, but you know, eventually I'll get a lot more done. I'll get the whole thing done eventually. All right, so there's that. All right, let me move, I'm just gonna move it to where it was. Okay. Now here was either my Christmas Boxing Day start from last year or New Year's start. I can't remember because I did Dutch Sampler and this one were like in that time frame. Huckleberry Farm by the Blue Flower. I'm using the DMC, which is, I'm not sure if it's a conversion. Yeah, so I'm using all the DMC. Some of it is called for, and the others, there's like a lot of Weeks Dye Works and one Gentle Arts and one Classic Color Works, and I'm just using the DMC conversion for the overdyes instead of the overdyes. And I'm using 36 count Shale by Picture This Plus, which is the called for fabric. I'm not sure if it's the called for count. It is. Not that it matters, but. And this is really wrinkled, sorry. I tried to minimize the plastic bag sounds you'll be hearing, but there is some because I was trying not to get everything lost. Nope, that's the wrong way around. Okay, here we go. I started in the bottom left corner. I'm left-handed, so, and I stitch in hand. So it's easiest for me to kind of like the way my brain works, just to start in either the top left or the bottom left, depending on the chart. So here's where I'm at. I'm resisting the urge right now to be like, I really want to go back to this, because I do. But like all the other ones too. So. Another one, and then just 2 more. We're moving right along. I think this is my second or third oldest WIP. Those next 2 are my competing for my second or third oldest. I can't remember which I started first. Stacy Nash Primitives Grace Bridges Sampler. It's not a great picture because it's very, you know, aged looking. But I do love all those funky birds and that big yellow house. So I'm not sure what color this is. It's definitely Zweigart. It's definitely 36 count. It might be light mocha or another one that is pretty good, like a pretty good neutral. Oh, sorry. I'm sure you can hear Amy coughing. We still have that residual coughing going on. I cannot think what this fabric is. But that's as far as I've gotten. I haven't touched this in a long time. I haven't worked on her in a long time. And it's all the called for DMC. So she's quite large. This is, I think, a fat half, so maybe. I could be wrong. I was trying to see if I could see the stitch count, but I can't without taking everything out and making you sit there. So anyway, someday. And then my last WIP is another Teresa Kogut. And this is Angelic Vision. I'm using all of the called for DMC. And this is being stitched on 32 count natural linen, which was purchased at Hobby Lobby. So I think it's the natural one. I don't think it's called raw. I always mix those two up, but it's whichever one is in like the Zweigart package like that. That's sold at Hobby Lobby. That's not the white. I don't know what other Hobby Lobbies have, but mine does not have, only has 2 colors of Zweigart 32 count, so, of like the actual linen. Mine, like I own it. The one near me. And there's a lot left to go. I have her whole face pretty much in, which is awesome. But the rest of her hair, her halo, the border, and then the second page is like a half page, and it's probably that long. Like her torso and such, wings. So a lot more stitching left to go. I've spent a long time on her, but this is very slow going for me. It's pretty much full coverage, a lot of confetti. And so I don't work on her very frequently. I have to be kind of in the mood for that type of stitching. I know some people that's like their jam. It's not really my jam. It's definitely not relaxing, which is one of the reasons I love stitching so much. I need to like focus more and count a lot more and all that. Not a problem, and I like doing it, but you know, just have to be in the mood. So this is a long-term jammer for sure. But I do love her. I think she's beautiful. And when she's finished, she'll hang in my bedroom. And that is all of my WIPs. I want to show you my one needle minder that I have. Since I stitch in hand and needle minders are kind of heavy, as you saw, I just kind of jam my needle in my fabric. Probably not best practice, but that's what I do. But this is my one needle minder I have. Let me see if I can get it to focus. I'm not sure if it is. It says live, laugh, love, and it's Skeletor. I just think it's hilarious. Anyway, that is all of my WIPs. So if you're just here for the cross stitch, that's all I've got. I do have some knitting to share with you, and I wanted to mention something else, which I think is a lot of fun. It's a game that I purchased from Amazon. You can get it on Amazon and maybe other places. I was seeing ads on Instagram for this game, and excuse me, I'm so sorry. As much as I am horrible about posting on Instagram, I do actually go on Instagram and I see everyone stitching and I like people's pictures, and my husband and I send each other reels of funny animals, mostly chicken stuff and fat cats and stuff. Anyway, so I'm on Instagram. I'm just really bad about posting, but I've been seeing ads for this game. This is not you know, a little kid game. This is supposed to be 17 plus. We did play it with our younger kids, but I had to take out a bunch of prompts. Like if you're going to play it with your kids, you need to go through and take out some stuff. Fair warning. But for like a game night with your like adult friends, or if you have grown kids or mature kids who are good at reading, but you want to take out some cards, this is a really fun game. So this isn't a game show, or, you know, this isn't a video about games or anything, but I would recommend checking it out, or at least look it up on Instagram and see if it's kind of your jam. Well, you know, it's a little, yeah, not necessarily not for little ones, but it's fun. So check that out. Makes me and my husband laugh a lot. Okay, the only thing really I have left to share is that I have been doing a little bit of knitting, not a ton. This is actually, it was a finished object that I forgot to bring out for my last Flosstube. So I realized after the fact, and I was like, oh darn. This is a hat that I knit for my son Liam. We couldn't find his other hat that I had knit for him in the past, which was also red. Red's his favorite color. So I did eventually find it like the day I finished this hat. You know, go figure, but that's fine. So this is a free pattern on Ravelry. I cannot remember the designer's name, but it's the Splendid Squares hat. It's not, this is not blocked or anything. He's just been wearing it. It's been shoved in his jacket pocket. So, and this is actually just a cheapy acrylic yarn that I picked up at Michael's. It's Karen Simply Soft, which, you know, I generally prefer natural fibers and not acrylic, but I do like Karen Simply Soft for hats, especially the kids' hats, because I can just, it's very low maintenance, throw it in the washing machine and so on. So, and if they lose the hat, it's not like a big financial loss. But this is the colorway Autumn Red. And again, it's a Splendid Squares hat. So it turned out all right. I did do one mistake, which I'll point it out. Right here, I forgot, I didn't put a beginning of round stitch marker. I usually just use the tail that's hanging down as my stitch marker for hats, but I wasn't paying attention the one time and I was supposed to be purling here and it is knit, so whatever, that's fine. Oh, my husband and stepson are back. Let me finish up real quick. And then yesterday I started a cowl using stash yarn, and this is just a 1x1 rib. This is a bulky weight yarn, Plymouth Ariado, in the colorway Garnet. And this is just gonna be for me, and I'm almost done. So yeah, I do wanna be knitting some more this year. That's another goal. Hold on. Hi everybody.
Howdy.
Howdy. So yeah, that's everything. I hope you have a good night tonight. Be safe. Happy New Year. And I'll see you next time. Bye.